Hello everybody, this is just a little midweek snippet. Really, just a few things I've got to do. Some of it similar to what most of us have got to do. We've got the cod season hopefully coming up, if we can find any. So, that being said, what am I going to need? Funny enough, a new T-bar, because I know that I'm going to be T-barring off a lot of con grills. This one is Blake's and Taylor's. It's a new one out. Apparently this isn't the proper card it's going to come on, but it feels nice. I've been giving it for review. Lovely, nice, big handle, which I like. That's a good grip there. And apparently these have been pull tested to something like the hundreds of kilos. You're never going to pull that, are you? So anyway, I shall be putting it through its paces. Looks like a well-made bit of kit, welded there both sides of that bar. I cannot bend that. That is a superior piece of 316 stainless. And we'll be testing it out, with luck, tomorrow. I'd like to be T-barring a cod off. More likely it's going to be eels and dogs, but you never know. We've got to try, haven't we? Other things to do. Spool my reels. So, I bought some a little while back because I like them so much. They're not a cheap reel, but they're good. Bring them into shop. My fixed balls. So I bought a couple of Shimano's there. I've used them for a few seasons now, and I wanted another pair. What am I spooling one with? Bit of Power Pro. I'm not sponsored by anyone, but credit where it's due. The only two braids I've used for the last 20 years are Berkeley Whiplash Green and Power Pro. And in fairness, neither of them have ever let me down. And I'll stick with what I know. Why wouldn't I? This is, one of these is 40, one's 50, but it's still such fine line. I end up using 40 on one, 50 on the others, only because that's what I could buy at the time in bulk. It's not cheap, that's for certain. I got that cheap. I was very lucky. I think it was in last stock, shop shutting, and I bought everything they had actually a few years ago. But it's been very good braid that. So as I say, credit where it's due, and that's another job I've got to do. What else am I going to do? Well, I've got some work on my boat. I've got to do my fly bridge. It wasn't the right fly bridge for the boat. It had an outturned lip, which is for the 6 foot cuddy, which extends in width as it goes further back. My boat is the shorter cuddy version, so it should have had an inturned lip. Hence, when we fitted it, we had to tow it in a little bit. It's not ideal, but it was what it was at the time. So what I've got to do, I've got to just do a bit of glass work on that. I might get a video on that actually. Not done much glass work myself, so might be interesting, but I shall give it a go. Once I've done that glass work, what I'm going to be doing is fitting this. Well, let me give you a clue first. Oh, don't be knocking the camera around. That better? Okay. Now, over the years, there's been an awful lot of gimmicky stuff coming out, most of which I just haven't bought into. I've watched it in action, and I've thought it's not really going to improve my fishing in any way, shape or form. This relief shading though is a little bit different. Again, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I was, and then I would have had to have paid 300 quid for that. But the relief shading is something else. It just adds another level to where am I going to go, where am I going to look. Prior to that, I've had Garmin, which has been an okay unit with a C-map on it. At one time they were pushing like a underwater 3D. No, it was what they thought the bottom looked like. But I don't know what they think it looks like, I want to know what it really looks like. What I've got is a new unit, which I'm going to fit. I'll bring it into play. Somewhat bigger than my last one. Yeah, so I've got a nice big 12-inch ply at last. I can't fit it unfortunately until I've done the glass work on my boat, but when I do, I'll be downloading the relief shading, and from what I've seen of it on other people's boats, I really like it. I really like it. It's I'd say just another level to that, to the detail, to the seabed, and it's accurate. And from what I've seen, it's been very accurate. This plotter, I can overlay the actual sounder information onto my chart. Again, priceless really, because if it's showing what the actual bottom really is, it doesn't get any better than that. You know, it's all right having an idea of what it is from a survey that it once did. I want to know what it really is. So yeah, with a bit of luck, that'll improve the fishing. Could do with it this year. It's not been the best year, I have to say. I've had a lot better in the last 20. A lot of what I've tried just hasn't worked. That's fishing, isn't it? What can you say? Some of it has. I can't moan too much. Had some very good bream. The hounds were good, and other bits and pieces were okay. But yeah, I mean, it hasn't been the best. The wrecking was a bit of a bust. The flounders, the place were non-existent. We've still got the winter to come though. We've got those cod. A few codling have been showing. That's what I'm out after tomorrow. What I might do is see if I can tag a little bit of last year's footage onto the end of this, so you can see a bit of fishing, not just me droning on. And if that's the case, if I can find some footage, I'll add it. But tomorrow, going out with a very good friend of mine. He's got his boat next to me at the ECA, Dick Stubbs, legend in our yard, wealth of knowledge. And I can remember 15 odd years ago, he'd come back and I'd see a box of plaice on the back of his boat, like this. 4, 5 pound plaice, some touching 6, spots on them like this. Oh, I could only dream of fish like that, but Dick knew where they were. And in fact, he's the one who pioneered the hopping technique, which works particularly well. That bait hopping out and moving, those plaice were honing in on that. And that was the first person I ever saw do that was Dick. Anyway, I'll be fishing with him tomorrow. Wish me luck, eh? Right, put a bit of fishy footage on, shall I? Aha, I knew there was something I'd forgotten. Doing that a lot lately. It's these bait clips, these non-return sliding bait clips. Now, I've had these for, if I said 15 years ago I first bought some of these, I wouldn't be lying. And I haven't used them. Shocking, really. Now, what they're designed for is shore fishing. If you get a live bait and you don't want to cast it out, you know, you can't cast it out, you cast just a weight out as far as you can. This attaches to the line. I'm not going to show you how it's done now. It's a little bit complicated. There's other tutorials that will show it a lot better than I can. But anyway, what you do is your bait goes, your trace goes on there, your live bait goes on, and you slide it down to the water's edge. And the idea is that fish swims out, and as it goes down, it slowly swims out to where your weight is. In other words, you get a live bait a fair distance out. Which set me thinking. In the winter when you're cod fishing, sometimes then the water's really clear. If it's coloured, then they say the cod grub about on the bottom. But if it's clear and there's a lot of bait fish around, sprats and the such like, the cod can be feeding higher in the water column. So, led me to think of this. So, same principle, just have a flick out with a weight from the boat, get a live bait on another rod, attach this, and just watch that slowly swim down through the water column, a live bait. Well, does it work? I don't know, I've not tried this one, but my mate did on my boat. He made one up, got bored in the shed, bit of wire, knocked one up. God, it was about 12 years ago, I suppose this would be. Cod fishing by the Nab Tower. Probably about 80, 90 foot of water. I've caught a pout, quite a big one, jumbo, granddaddy pout we used to call them. And I said, do you want this? Do you want to try it out with that clip for live bait? And it was a bit sort of big, you might think, but he went, yeah, I'll try it. Anyway, he's clipped it on, dropped it over. 5 seconds later, his rod's oofed over, and I thought, what's going on here? He says, what's he done? Oh no, something hit that pelt good and proper, and mashed it in half, like a proper mashy, crushing bite. There's only a few fish that do that sort of crushy, mashing bite, an eel. But I'll tell you what, I'll be surprised if it hadn't gone 20 feet under the boat, 15 feet under the boat. That's not to say that eels don't come up the water column, they absolutely do. 2 years ago I was bream fishing in the 50 feet of water, and I fancied a garfish, so I put a floating rig out with a little strip of squid on it, only a little tiny strip like garfish bait, and it was possibly a foot under the water, so 49 foot up from the surf, from the seabed. I get a nice screaming take. I think, oh, that's a nice garfish. No, congreel, small one, strap, but either he's come up from the bottom and seen that, or he was swimming around in the upper columns of the water. Who knows? But it was certainly a conger that took it, to my disappointment and surprise. So yeah, if it wasn't a conger, possibly a bass, but I doubt it very much. Cod, I don't think it was a ray. That's the one thing I haven't seen rays come up to the surface. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't know everything. I know I don't. It's a possibility. Unlikely in my opinion, but who knows? But anyway, these are long overdue a try. So if the conditions are clear and we're seeing clouds of baitfish on the sounder, if I can pick up something as a live bait, that's what I'm going to attach to my line. At least 2 of them. See, one side of the boat, one the other side of the boat. Just see if I can pick up something with the live bait dropping down through the water column. Got to be worth a try. That's right. Okay, people, welcome to the channel. And the name pulled out the hat is Chris here. Yeah. And he's quite pleased because we've only literally been fishing half an hour. And if you'd like to show that to the camera, mate.
Caught my first ever cod.
Very nice too.
Cheers to Wayne.
Yeah, there you go. So first fish aboard was a dog and an eel, but the third one is a nice little codling there. Not massive, we know that, but I'll tell you what, that's a nice eating size, mate.
Made my year. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Well, there you go. So hopefully we'll find his great grandparents. All right, well done, mate. Well done.
Cheers.